Hey, peace and abundant divine blessings. You're now listening to the tone of voice of the master sound therapist, master sound healer, and the grand architect of the universe. I'm traveling known as Hunibak Atun, aka the Magic Man Heru. I want to take time to do this audio visual. I want to say happy horizons to all of the children of nature, all of the children of the Most High, as well as everyone who is up and at it, as well as the people who's going to tune into this audio visual after it's archived. If you look at the header that I got, with sound therapy, I love working with the four tenets. And in case you don't know, the four tenets of sound therapy is music, science, art, and supreme mathematics. I want to put some things out there in this day and time with so many things that's happening. So many people that's losing their will to live, their will to survive. And I want to say to you, and I'm not going to be long with this, because now as time expand, and shout out to the master sound healer and therapist himself, my brother, the comedian extraordinaire, amongst many other titles. And I'm talking about P.V. Smiley. I recall some of your words that you shared with me many, many years ago, that we don't have the luxury of time. Now, if anyone who's on my timeline, I don't know exactly what's going on with Facebook, but I know I've been doing a lot of posts here. Don't really see much activity. But it is what it is, because I'm going to do what I'm sent to do, regardless to whether people get it now. Faithfully, they'll get it later. But anyway, like I said, I'm here definitely to complete the task, for my ninth and final. Okay, so now, when we look in this day and time, especially over here in the shores of America, you got a lot of brothers and sisters out there, pretty much worldwide, but the beings over here in the shores of America is very unique in the sense of not knowing who and what they are. Now, I'm not going to say they haven't heard, and if you look at this day and time that we're in, and I speak very, very passionately about the information age, and a lot of people are experiencing information overload. Okay, so now I want people to check out some specific things. If you are a religious-minded person, this is not an attack on you, but this is a vital seed that I want to plant in your mind and your spirit. And faithfully, it'll manifest into your body that will make you stir up something in you for you to take time to investigate. Take time to not only read, but to comprehend what you are reading. Okay? And I want you to open up, right? Because I'm going to deal with the so-called conscious next. But I want you to open up your Torah, right? Or the Bible in the form of the Old Testament. And I want you to turn to Bereshith or Genesis chapter 13, where it speaks about the 400-year bondage. I'm not going to read it off now, because if you're curious enough to know, and you really, really want to know, right? And you really, really want to identify with being a child of the Most High, or identify with the biblical, Judaic, or even Quranic stories, because again, the Quran actually mentions the Torah. What we gave to Musa, right? Okay, so it's in there, right? So anyway, take time to do that, because right now we're in a very unique time, and a very good position to be in, regardless if you think that we are or not. I want you also to take time to go on, since most people like to be into Google and trust Google, right? So I want you to Google and look up the state of Virginia apologizes, okay, for the 400-year enslavement. Okay? I also want you to Google while you're Googling, right? I want you to take time to look up the Congress, the House of Representatives are willing to apologize to the so-called African American for 400 years of servitude. Now, they're in conflict with each other, as I spoke on to last night on one of the show hosts, Janicia. Take time to listen to that recording too. Take time to support her show. All right, now let me get back to what I was saying. Look up or take time to Google that the House of Congress is trying to decide on if they're going to offer an apology. Now, there's already been in a newspaper that's called The Heritage. If you take time to look it up, and you will see that they had already did that in the state of Virginia. And anyone who studied American history, you will see that one of the states that was used in earlier of the bondage that we have faced for so many years ago, right? You know, we have faced a bondage for such a long time, right? So let me speed this up because I got, you know, my time is valuable. But I wanted to plant that in there. And also, meanwhile, take time to go to the library because I have always seen this book, or take time to PDF this book, or even get the audio book. If you look at it, I'm going to be doing a regular post too for this short audio visual. I'm going to do a regular post where I'm going to send and put in and include links for you to get the audio book. You can find it on the audio.com, which is pretty good for a lot of people whose time is valuable and they may not be real good readers, or they like to kind of multitask like with me. I like to put on a good book to expand my mind, to feed my thoughts and all that kind of stuff like that. I came across The Stolen Legacy early in the early 90s or the late 80s, somewhere between 88 89. Stolen Legacy is one of those books that should be in everybody's Trueberry. I don't want to say library, right? Every melanated person should own a copy of this. I also encourage every melanated people, family, be it man, woman, and child, right? Or even your single people out there, couples, is to get a copy of El Godoshlo Hat. And that's the holy tablet that was inscribed or received by the illustrious one, the Lamb of the Most High, Dr. Malachi Z. York. I take time to not only put my stamp of approval of this book, and don't get into all of the nonsense about what people are saying about mistake this and mistake that, right? I want you to open up, even if it's no more than a PDF copy of El Gadush Lahat, the Holy Tablets, and take time to look at these hand-drawn pictures within the Holy Tablet. I want you to take time to look into the eyes. That's why I did this. This is actually, I'm probably going to call this, ain't no problem. I'm going to call it part 3, right? And for those of us who have an utmost respect for our story. And I find it very ironic that everyone else in their right state of mind in regards to wherever they are at on this planet is people will fight tooth and nail to preserve their story. Whether it's a fictitious story or whatever, they feel like it's theirs. And I look at us so quick to neglect our stories, so quick to not, be willing, able, ready to defend our stories. Why would we take time to just throw away one of the greatest times that we have had, especially in this day and time? We had a being that was amongst us in regards to however you feel about him. Like the young people say, F your feelings, right? Get out of your feelings. And look at nothing shy of a miracle that we had. Now, whether you want to say the Holy Tablets was all made up, well, what's the difference between us making some things up and other people making their stories up? My last case in point is people got it wrong. People think that everything has to be a fact in order for you to acknowledge it. Everything has to be based in facts. And to be honest, a lot of us who's living in this day and time aren't fully familiar about who and what they were previously. Whether you want to call it incarnation, whether you want to call it, hey, what's up, nephew? All praises due. How you doing? Faithfully, you're feeling well. I'm also offering up prayers and meditation and sending pure, unadulterated divine energy. UV energy your way, nephew. Love you with the heart and soul of me. Thank you for taking time to listen in. When I hit this stop recording on this, man, take time to repost it, take time to absorb it. But most importantly, let me reiterate, take time to invest into getting to know our stories, be it Native American or be it ancient mysteries of what they call in Africa or the misnomer of Egypt. You get what I'm saying? But that's not the only place. Melanated people are the original people of Mission Planet Earth. So in regards to wherever we live on this planet, you can never, ever go anywhere on this planet where you don't see the beginnings or see the traces of a people that was mobile, that actually, picked up and they traveled all around this globe. That was our purpose. By us being one, not only, children of the sun, but we also are children of Mother Earth. And this is why, if you listen to a lot of my publications and audio books and all that kind of stuff like that, I'm here to do a serious work. And it's not just me. It's not about any one of us. But the sooner we realize that each one of us have a purpose, each one of us are here by design, divine design, okay? And the greatest gift that we can ever have is the gift of life in regards to whatever challenges that we are facing here, okay? Whether you're born with a silver spoon or don't even have a spoon or don't even have, hands to feed yourself. By virtue of the fact that you are alive, is one of the greatest gifts. And shout out to my cousin, Dolores Overton. I see a lot of your posts, and I'm constantly offering up prayers and meditation and sending UV divine energy your way as well. I'm hearing some heartbreaking stories here about this COVID thing, whether it's real, it's not imagined, because you got a lot of people that's dying. A lot of people's even getting paid by people dying or taking time to acknowledge. And I want y'all to take time to think about something here. Have you noticed that within the last year, all the way up to recently, and you may even hear it from this morning, 99.9% of the people that's passing away is going to be diagnosed as having COVID-19 or complications of it. Think about that. And something would tell you within your mind that they're putting up these numbers, man, because we're dealing with not even a hidden agenda, an obvious agenda. But let me get back to Stolen Legacy right quick. Take time to look up this book, and it's one of the greatest books, because I want you to think about this. If you look at the so-called greatest European philosophers, right? There's Socrates, Plato, and, having a little issue recalling the other guy. But if you take time to make that investment into this book or get the audio, it would speak about how these European philosophers left Greece and went into Egypt to be educated. But as always, I don't know what it is about certain Europeans that they want to take certain things from people that was doing it previously, and all of a sudden they can become the greatest so-and-so. How can you become the greatest when you came last? You wasn't there in the beginning. How can anyone who came later on be as great or just as good as the people that, that was here before so-called beginning? And I'm saying that especially, those people who study religion. If you really, really look it up, and like I say, you open up the Torah or the Old Testament of Genesis, it speaks about the Adamites were sent here to refill planet Earth. If you refilled anything, that means that something had to be on it before. And that would explain why, for those people, again, who do study Judaism or Christianity or even Islam, that will explain why that it was more than one people on this planet Earth during the Adam and Eve story. That also would explain why, when you speak about how is it possible for other children to be made besides two sons, and you cannot, two men cannot multiply and give birth to other children. So it had to be a woman, the feminine gender somewhere. Okay? And that's a little tidbit. Again, it's nothing wrong with the scriptures. It's something wrong with the people that have been interpreting the scriptures for such a long time. But again, you can only blame them but so far. I'm going to take time to end this short video. Thank you so much, nephew, for tuning in. Thank you so much for everybody who might catch this faithfully when I save it and it's archived. Stop allowing your legacy, your heritage to be taken away. And it's bad enough for to have people to take it away, but stop giving things away. I have mentioned that many times. Take time to also be a subscriber to my YouTube channel, Sound Therapy with Magic Man Heru. Take time to look it up. Take time to hit that like button. Take time to go through these audio visuals that I'm taking time to put out. And also take time to get yourself back, get your mind back. As I always said, you cannot get your soul back until you take control of your mind. And you can't take control of your mind until you're willing, able, ready to take complete ownership for your own life. Stop expecting other people to think for you. Stop expecting other people to feel for you, to feel your pain. Stop expecting other people to have compassion for you if you don't take time to be compassionate. To when somebody receive a senseless death, a death that's been not even undocumented, but a death that people won't even take time, since all lives matter, and this is what everybody claims, right? If people really, really believe that, then everybody should be outraged at the dying of anybody, be it man, woman, or child. But for some reason, when it comes to a melanated man, woman, and child, you got people caught on camera doing all kind of things. And the people who commit these hideous acts keep getting away with it. Enough is enough. Stop allowing yourself to be killed, and stop allowing you to have more faith and more love for an open enemy than you have for your own self and kind. That's not godly. I mean, only a fool would sit back and allow or continue to allow that to happen. Okay? So I know we got a long ways to go with a short time to get there, man. And as always, I am the master sound therapist, Huni Bakatun, aka the Magic Man, the master sound healer, and the grand architect of the universe. Take time to also mark the date coming up Thursday. I got a very, very special guest, Rabboni Yahshua Nun Zodak, as we speak about identify the elect. Okay? You don't want to miss that. That's going to be 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You definitely want to call in early. Don't want the phone lines to lock up. Or you can tune in on Blog Talk Radio. I am the host of We Will Aware You. Thank you so much for everybody who sent their prayers. Thank you so much to everybody who have given me an overwhelming support for so many years. On that note, as always, I give thanks to all in all, who's in all, through all, above, and encompassing all. And don't forget, coming up Thursday, I'll be live and direct for another advancement. Peace.